top till I'm on top.
Yo,
Yeah.
no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome into Pregaming here with Sports Money. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. You know what we do here. We get together, we look at line movement, last-minute injury updates, all the trends and angles that we need to try to get to the window with winning tickets. Excited to be a part of the show tonight. You know the deal with Thursday. We bring our guy, Miggity Mac Daddy, in the house. We lay down the card. Then we get ready for Thursday night football. Big live stream tonight. We got the Minnesota Vikings and the LA Rams taking battle. I got a couple plays for you. Actually, I think I got one play for you now in the NFL game, but I'm going to get a same game parlay together for us. We'll talk touchdown parlay props as well. Pretty loaded up here. Nice little NHL card. College football. We've got a couple of games going on there. Georgia Southern and Old Dominion. We got a spot going on there with Syracuse and Pittsburgh. That's a battle right there. I'm telling you right now. Mark that one down. It might be the game of the week. Yeah, it's crazy. I know. I said it. I said it out loud. It sounded crazy as I said it. I think we're going to see some offense. We got two teams running and gunning. That's gonna be a great game. I'm excited to be a part of that one tonight. The NBA is in action now. We're going to be on day 3. And we're going to get underway with some action again tonight. We've got a smaller NBA card, but doesn't mean we can't find a way to hammer away and catch them winners. And that's what we're going to do tonight here. We had a nice little NBA night last night. You know, the Flyers, they stink. I say that with a smile because every year the Flyers start out so damn hot. And I say it all the time. They're too stupid to realize they should be losing right now. No, they're losing right now. Fedotov, struggling. Capitals, firing. Ovechkin on the quest to chase down Wayne Gretzky for the most goals in the NHL all time. But the Flyers fell short for us. Liberty. They screwed us last night. The under 26.5. Shout out to my guy Smoke. He texted me. He was breaking my balls. And he's like, if you like it at 26.5, you got to love it at 30.5. And I did take the 30.5 at a nice little plus 110 spot. Liberty drives down with just a minute 40 to go. They're 4th down. All they have to do is kick a field goal. We cover. Nope, they convert the first down. They score at the end of the half. And they lost. Kennesaw beat them up. How about that? Go Kennesaw. Kennesaw Owls. 17-game unbeaten streak in college football. Goes night-night. And Kennesaw gets the biggest win of their FBS career. Now, Jacksonville State, nailed that one. Split hog, that son of a bitch. Talked about it. Coach keeps his foot on the gas all the way till the end, and that's exactly what they needed to do to go out there and cover that 20.5 for us. So, a little ho-hum, right? But as we got rolling, Detroit cashed the under for us. No sweat. Cleveland cashed the minus 6.5 for us. No sweat. Miami shit the bed. Miami shat the bed against Orlando. But we double-dipped Utah. The only double-dipper spot of the night we had in NBA was Utah plus 2.5 and the over 229 cash. We got the hook. Sometimes it works for us. Sometimes it works against us. Rockets and Pelicans, 2 unbeaten trends at 18-0. And one team falls. So we don't cash that parlay. Durant gets his rebounds. Scotty Barnes gets 8 miserable points for that Toronto Raptors team. Maybe it was 9. Was it 8 or 9? I can't remember. It doesn't matter. We had 21.5. We were on the over. It didn't cash. That's how I know the Scotty Barnes situation went down last night. So, hey, look, we live to fight another day. It's going to be a slight day in the black for us, but not where we want to be. We got to keep firing these bullets, find them spots that we can attack. I think we've got some great spots to attack tonight. So I just had to look back at the card to make sure I trimmed it up. I want to keep it clean for everybody out there because I am going to put a same game parlay together, and I am going to bet some spots live tonight. So let me trim it up. When I say trim it up, I still think we're going to have 10 spots here tonight. We got a parlay. We got a player prop parlay. It's 5 legs. It encompasses all the sports going except for college football because I can't play or prop bet college football in New York State. So that's fine. Plenty fine for us. It's going to be around a plus 780, I think. Plus 780 spot out there. So we'll start the show with that because we know Miggity Mac Daddy will come in here and get us going with college football, the NBA, and Thursday night football as we put a bow on the show. But I appreciate everybody coming in, hanging out with us tonight here. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. We're listener supported. Love to have members showing that support. But if you're here hanging out with us, take a second. Close the comment box. Hit that thumbs up. Then reopen the comment box and we can get on with the show. So let's get going on with this show as we talk about it there. Guys, know the deal. 3 things we ask you to do. Hit that thumbs up button. Get that pen and paper ready. It is a big night tonight for a bunch of trends that we'll lay out there for you guys. One of these trends does have implication for tomorrow. It won last night. It's got to play tonight, and it's in play again tomorrow. So these are the things that you're going to want to take note of so you can get them lines when they make the most sense. And last but not least, put your best bets in the chat so we can talk about what you guys are on. We love to see it. Love to recognize what you guys have. Looking to get to work with here. And, of course, commenter number 1 is Joe T, live from Vegas. And he's giving us the F year under play of the day. It's the Vikings, and he's on the team total over 23.5. Now, 2 things that I take away from that. 1, we all know Joe T's a homer. He loves his Brewers, but he also loves his Rams. And he's telling you to take the Vikings team total over 23.5, essentially fading his Rams defense. Now, what Joe T may or may not be aware of is how teams perform the game after the Detroit Lions. We'll talk about that when we get to the NFL. Lots of good spots to talk about with that game. Shout out to my guy, NJ Stryker. Says, tell us how we getting paid, brother. We're going to do just that. Nicholas Handy's here. Chris Sella. Swerve the Snow Cone Man says, happy Thursday football sports money. Let's get one tonight. We're going to get on one tonight. This is fucking exactly what we're going to do tonight. Cliff Gang's in the house. Says, Mike, is it cold in New York? It's fucking freezing, man. It's 50, but it's windy. Overcast. It's the gray sky. There's 2 types of skies up here. There's gray and there's blue. And it's gray 8 months of the year. So believe you me, it's chilly, man. Gotta bundle up. Gotta get the long sleeves on as we get rolling. The Futon Bets is here. Let's the OKC money line. The man known for the bombs gets involved with the NFL prop shop. We will be back for the NFL prop shop this week. It's Spencer Penny Bombs, ready to rock with us tonight. Says, what's up? Keith from Each Every Stride is going to be ready to go tonight for Thursday night football. There's Joe Dub. Says, keep up the excellent work. Man, some of these middling days are frustrating, though. They're frustrating, Joe Dub. I mean, look, they're not all going to be, 11, 12 unit bangers like we saw the other night, but we'll take a unit. If we lose a unit, just want to stay alive. Want to stay in the hunt. Let's go smoke and mirrors. Says Liberty and their coach suck. But never mind me just getting. There you go, my dude. Robert Dixon's in the house. He likes the Georgia Southern money line. It's important because I don't have a play in that game. If I was going to make a play, it would be the under, but I don't have a play, Robert Dixon. So I appreciate you sharing the action in that game for any takers that are out there. MMA Boss Sports Money. It's good to see that name in the chat. Sounds familiar. It's like the Celtics smash. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and the fourth quarter. Celtics are going to kick the shit out of the Wizards. Says MMA Boss Sports Money. Jay Main's in the house. Nicholas Handy says Thursday night football total is climbing. It's now 47.5. Dougie Wise in the house says the Vikings under 48. Nasty Nate believes them Celtics are going to smash. And Joe T says, oh yeah, you told me that already. It's all good. Doesn't mean they can't score. Doesn't mean they can't score. The real Jolly Roger likes the Rangers in regulation. No overtime bets for those regulation plays. Love that look. We will talk about that Rangers game tonight. Talk sports with JT's in the house. Here we go. NFL's got Atwell over 31.5 receiving yards. Arson Jones over 24.5 receiving yards. It's got a little Klay Thompson over 16.5 points. A little Harrison Barnes over 2.5 rebounds. And Gordon under 14.5 points. College football. It's got the Q's +6. I like that too. Nasty Nate says, who the hell? I don't know. We got a newcomer. But no newcomer here. This guy just fires big bullets. Benny Bomb's got Oliver over 4.5 receiving yards. Cup over 6.5 receptions. Addison over 46.5 receiving yards. Love that spot. 6 games in a row. He's gone over his number. Ty Chandler over 20.5 rushing yards. Touchdowns. Cooper Kupp. Why wouldn't you like Cooper Kupp? First game back. Addison. Okay. Month at +480. And Tutu Atwell. And Oliver. Tutu Atwell and Oliver. I was defensive whether or not Tutu Atwell would make my fantasy football lineups, Benny. So that might be the nudge I needed. There's Jay Peasy in the house. Appreciate all you guys that came in here to rock with us tonight. Yeah, we're going to keep it moving. We're going to keep that brisk pace because we got Thursday night football. I like to have a couple of minutes, Let me be selfish for a second. I like to have a couple of minutes in between so I can make a cocktail, enjoy myself, and get recalibrated for the evening. Shout out to Randall Sheffield. He's starting to train early for us tonight. He's blessing our action. He's gifting a Sports Money membership. Thank you, Randall Sheffield, my dude, helping us grow this community one member at a time. Appreciate that, Randall. Appreciate you, man. All right. On deck here tonight, you guys, after this, make sure you go check out First Strike. 4 plays with the fellas, the 4-man panel. We had MMA Jeff, Subhuman Gaucho, and Fanatical Jim sharing their favorite looks early to cook the books. I was Cliff Yang. You got to hydrate, man. Listen, I will dehydrate with the best of them, my friend. But First Strike is out there, guys. And listen, get the views in there and be sure to hit that thumbs up for us. Video content seems like, it takes us the time to put it together and put the production out there, get the graphics set up, try to give you guys a nice visual. But we don't get shit for likes in those videos, man. Almost like, hey, do we keep doing them? And the Steam report, the Sharp report, has come in with the first touchdown, any touchdown scorer here. Cliff Yang. I haven't changed. I'm just going to be rocking with you dudes till well after midnight, I'm sure. I'm sure we're going to be there. So, anyways, we got First Strike out there. We're going to shoot the NFL prop shop. Going to get some college football action out there for you guys. And, of course, you know the deal. The man himself, Ramon Scott, and his whistling computer is going to be firing away, at least until his new one arrives. And at 9 a.m. is when he pops off. So you'll see him tomorrow. You'll see him Saturday. You'll see him Sunday. And we're going to have that early UFC stream on Saturday. So it's not sure how we're going to squeeze it all in, but we will find a way. And then we'll have a nice way to talk about the full college football slate. So I'm going to have to get busy on this college football action because we've had a good run. The last couple of weeks have been a pretty good run. We split some spots. We take the VIG, but we've had some big spots as well. So let's go. Let's get in. Shout out to, again, my guy, Randall Sheffield. And no, we haven't changed here. Zebras don't change their stripes, Cliff Yang, and neither do I. So we're going to rock. We're just going to hydrate. We're just going to stay hydrated. Got to keep the pipes lubricated, as they say. Okay. What do you want to start with? Well, let's start with the top of the list. Shout out to MMA Boss Sports Money, like Celtics second quarter. likes the Rangers -1.5 for our hockey action to get us into business here. Dougie Wise, I didn't want to skip this one, said road favorites in the NFL are 25-10 against the spread. That's a hell of a number. And KB's rocking with us, says Dallas 9-1 straight up series. Dallas -4.5. Probably team total over Toronto or just bowl game over. Winnipeg Jets -137 and 2 in series, and hot 6 straight wins for that Winnipeg Jets team. Shout out to Trisha M. She's rocking with us tonight. And Real Jolly Roger. This is Ramon's computer. Sounds like it's powered by a hamster running on a wheel. Man's got all kinds of things set up over there, huh? It's like the mad scientist in the lab. Shout out to Joseph Alvarado, says always sports money. Where's my guy Justin McKelvey? Is he slacking tonight? I saw the shout out he gave again this morning. He says sports money is money. And of course, that was good enough for Ramon to want to hear it all the time. I love saying it. I love hearing it. How about that? Let's go. Twisted's out there rocking with us. What's up, Twisted? Likes the Vikings -2.5, Q's +6, the ODU game under 52. I like that spot. Nuggets game under 227.5. The Kings over the T-Wolves. The Kings, LA Kings under 6 goals. And the Blues on the puck line. And MMA Boss with the reminder that says, hit the like button, you guys. If you haven't done so, we're going to get to business here, but we need that thumbs up. We got to show these mother effers what we do out here. Got a special outro treat for everybody. 'Tis the season to get in the season as well. So make sure you stick around and check out the special outro treat that your boy here put together in the lab today. In the lab. Cooking up some fun graphics for you guys while I was doing some studying in the NHL specifically here. I mentioned the NBA, and we got to let it play out a little bit. We got to let it run its string. I mean, we had a good day yesterday. I mean, prop parlays didn't get there for us, but and neither did the parlay, but just using trends. We just got to let this data mature, but we're still going to take our shots, and we've got plenty of shots to take tonight. So before we jump into all that other fun stuff, let's get this parlay on the screen. Took me longer to type it than it will for you to play it. Trust you and me. It's Wembanyama with the Spurs, 10+ rebounds. It's Joker with the Nuggets at 13+ rebounds. That's Kevin Fiala, LA Kings, for 3+ shots on goal. We've got Panarin for the New York Rangers to get 1 point or more. And then we've got Addison, wide receiver, Vikings, over 3.5 receptions. +780. Now let's talk about it. Now let's discuss it. First and foremost, Wembanyama effect out there. He's gotten at least, 10, I don't know. His double-digit rebound numbers have been firing. First game, right? So we'll see exactly what happens with these guys, but guy's a fucking monster. I said this last year. There's a couple guys, we talked last year about the Scotty Barnes effect. We talked last year about the Wembanyama spot there. 7'4", 8-foot wingspan. This dude should nuke this line. His total, by the way, is over 11.5. So we're taking that down to 10. It's a situation out there where I just feel he's got to go out there, and now he's in year number 2. Now, his blocked shots. Remember, I think it was LJ from H-Town that was fired on that one with us last year. But tonight, I'm going to take this number being set just a little bit low with this Dallas Mavericks team out there, and I get the Luka effect, but I think there would be some opportunities for him to grab some defensive rebounds and use his size to his advantage to pull it home. Again, we're teasing it down. We're teasing it down to a 10+ factor in that game. We're going to look at Joker. I mean, the dude's double-double machine, right? Didn't he have that record last year for double-doubles galore? It's kind of like that spot that we looked at with, Durant, and then the night before with AD. When you start seeing these guys double-doubles priced egregiously, disgusting, we take a little pivot back. And, I mean, the dude's at home. Can't rebound at home. What the hell else are you going to do out there? It's a tight spread, too. When I look at a tight spread, I think that there's either going to be a shit ton of missed shots, or it's going to be a lower scoring game because they are playing defense and snatching up second chance opportunities out there. And nobody does second chance opportunities better than our guy Joker. Should be able to go figure it out and get easily that number for us here. Kind of like his ladder. If I was going to ladder one dude tonight, it might be him to go figure it out. Big game. Starting the season off at home for those guys. They got to go out there and can't just flop around like a fish. Who else do we have out there on this list here? Let's go. Let me see. Kevin Fiala. This guy's a little throwback to the notes from last year. Kevin Fiala was leading the team on the Kings in shots on goal every single game. They had his line at one point up to 4.5 shots on goal. Now, he's 3.5 today. So we're taking him down. We're taking the hook out of the equation. But we'll talk about this with this game as well. This is the first game at home for the LA Kings. They've had a shitload of road travel to start their season off. They're playing the San Jose Sharks. They've got Red Light Rittich in goal for the Kings against Mackenzie Blackwood. But, if you look at what's going on here, the Sharks are letting up a shit ton of shots. They're almost averaging 40 against the game. And Fiala's coming off a donut. Team that gets a lot of shots allowed. Player that shoots a lot, but coming off a donut. Sandwich them together for us. We're going to take Fiala 3+ shots on goal. I saw KV mention the Panarin or the Ranger spot. We are going to take the Rangers. We'll talk about that in a minute. Playoff rematch. Revenge opportunity. Panarin, first line guy, first line power play guy. Guy gets almost the most ice time of anybody outside of a defenseman on the New York Rangers team. His total is at 1.5 points. It's like a +110. So it's not even that juice to go over 1.5. We're just counting on him getting 1 point in that game out there with Florida. Now, worth noting in this spot, it is the Florida Panthers. It is a Thursday. I got to dig that. I got to look at all the logistics of that trend because we know what happens. They end up going under a lot. I know it was predominantly at home, but they've got Igor Shesterkin going in on the other side. So we'll take a look at that one. And then last but not least, I've got Addison with the Minnesota Vikings over 3.5 receptions. This guy just gets a lot of yards. I mentioned this at the onset when Spenny dropped his prop bet out there that this Addison play to me is gold. This guy here, we've got a weak secondary with this LA Rams team. Certainly can be exposed and vulnerable. We know what are you going to do? Well, you got to cover Jefferson. Can't let him run amok out there. So what's that leave? Well, it leaves a guy like Addison to go out there. His 25+ receptions has hit, or 25+ receiving yards has hit 6 straight games. He has found himself as one of the favorite targets of Sam Darnold. And over 3.5 receptions for us brings us home for a +780 player prop parlay tonight. That's how we're going to open this card up. I'd love to hear if you guys are going to tail this with me. Love to see that there. Spenny. See that, nasty Nate. Trisha M says, I got a big boost on the Panthers, leaning the Rangers. I heard that, Joe Dub. What's funny is whatever he said, I was listening on a delay. I popped in at the end. Whatever he said made my app on the phone pop up as well. So I was laughing when I heard he let Siri talk. And then he was very appreciative. He thanked Siri. So and it's not like if you've ever tried the other spot where you tell Siri where to go and how to get there. Siri doesn't like that. Spenny. Jeremy with 7+ rebounds at a +145, 8 +210, double +700. Dante DiVincenzo, 3 + 3s -110, 4 + 3s -2. All right, Spenny. Damn yeah, I like that. I'm gonna make a note. You don't remember last year, Spenny was crushing those triple-double parlay props and coming on live and celebrating and cashing like a mother. It was fucking awesome to see. That's why you got to earn your nicknames. Spenny Bombs earned his nickname. Sorry. Sometimes it's tough for me to write and talk at the same time. Just taking a note. Let's go. Spenny likes this Joker triple-double out there. Love to see that. Dougie Wise agrees with some of those plays. Let's go. Trisha M says, we got burned by the Heat. Gots to get out of the kitchen. Hope you well. Trisha M shouting out old E. All right. So we got this parlay to pop this thing off, right? I'll keep it on the screen for another second for you guys if you are interested in tailing away. And like I said, I bought some of these down, some of these half-point spots to bring them down. There's a bunch of guys across the board I would consider in here. I would consider Cole Makar on the Colorado Avalanche as a point-producing defenseman out there, leading the NHL in points, I believe, when I read that this morning. I would consider Kucherov for a point in Tampa Bay. Why not? He's leading. Actually, I'd just take him to get an outright goal. He might be on the touchdown goal-scoring parlay prop tonight. And then I would look at Austin Matthews for the Maple Leafs. Why the hell not? Sitting at home. Should be a good spot for Toronto to kick the shit out of St. Louis Blues. And if they're going to do that, it's going to be Austin Matthews leading the way. There we go. There he is. Justin McKelvey's here. That's going to launch us off, officially moving us in the right direction. Says sports money is money. And we love hearing it. We love hearing that. Stats play of the day. Our guy, Justin McKelvey, rockstar, man, supporting us on the regular, always here, hanging out, bringing good vibes. We love that stuff, man. Let's go. Okay. Let's get into this first game on the card here. We'll start with the NHL because I know our boy will come in and he will fire away with everything else that we get involved with here. And you guys talked about this one already. It's like you read my play sheet. Florida Panthers, New York Rangers, playoff revenge opportunity. The only difference between this playoff revenge opportunity now is Bobrovsky has additional wear and tear on the legs. Florida has started off 4-3-1 on the season. And the Rangers, a spit-shining 5-0-1, have not taken a loss in regulation. Of course, we were hammering them the other night. We got that plus 120 spot with the Rangers against the Habs. And this completed a 3 straight road trip: Detroit, Toronto, Montreal, the old original 6 road trip for them New York Rangers. They've been winning. They've been cashing checks. The only team that they lost to was in overtime to the Utah Hockey Club. Crazy. Florida Panthers. Up and down. They lose to Vancouver 3-2. They beat Vegas 4-3. They lose to Minnesota 5-1. And I mentioned the goalie situation. Bobrovsky is confirmed. We're still seeing likely for Shesterkin. I believe he was the first guy off the ice today. That's always important when you're trying to kind of forecast hockey, is who is that first guy off the ice. And I mentioned the tread off the tires here. 3.47 goals against average is SpongeBob. 87.5% save percentage. Flip side, Shesterkin, we talked about it. He's betting on himself this year. Refused the contract, wants to reset the goaltending market, and has started off like a fucking wild man. 2.46 goals against average, a 93.2% save percentage out there. Unbelievable. I mentioned that 5-0-1 record. He's 4-0-1 in those spots out there. So he did take that L where he did. Think about that. He let up 6 goals to the Utah Hockey Club. He's still a 93.2% save percentage. It's remarkable. And, you know, some of that has a lot to do with block shots. Not something we talk about often, but New York Rangers not afraid to play behind this man. They're doing everything they can to go out there. They're playoff form early. The only question is, are they potentially peaking a little too early? And that would certainly concern me over the long stretch of this thing. But I'm with you guys. You know, I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel here. I got this regulation spot. It's minus 105. A couple things I was looking at, particularly with these two teams. You mentioned the playoff revenge opportunity. I love to take that angle and run with it. The Rangers are 12-0 in those revenge games when that line is greater than a minus 155 in the regular season. But you know what we look for? The margin. The margin of victory is 2.25 goals a pop in those spots. So I thought about the -1 because, you know, the nice part about the -1, if they tie in regulation, we still have the chance to push in overtime. So you kind of have that push in the back pocket scenario. But it was just a little too pricey. I brought this line down to the regulation spot. The margin of victory at 2.25 goals was enough for me. Now, you might say, well, if you got 2.25 goals, why not take the -1.5? They're not trying to get greedy. I do think they'll go out there and they'll cover this game by margin. I think this is a bad spot for the Florida Panthers. But look, they are the defending Stanley Cup champions. I think they do bring their A game into the barn tonight. I just, I think there's a lot to be said about a team that's, kind of the threes, right? You got the Rangers after 3 straight road games coming back home. You got the Panthers after 3 straight home games taking it to the road, and they just got busted up. They got their panties taken down and their behind slapped in front of everybody on that Minnesota spot, 5-1. That Florida Panthers team's got to have a little bitter taste in their mouths and probably going to want to go out there and exact some revenge of their own. I do think they're going to play hard. Didn't want to touch this under. I think with both these goaltenders, the under is a very strong look, especially with Florida on the Thursdays. But if we miss this Thursday and we go back and say they keep going under on Thursday, I can live with that. I just want to get this Rangers spot home for us to get that cash and make that money. So that's how we're going to open our card up. Let's see what we have for game number 2 on the docket here. I'm going to look at that Colorado-Utah Hockey Club spot. And, Utah, hell of a start, 4-2-1. Flip side, Colorado Avalanche have started like shit. They're 3-4 on the season. And the problem that they've got right now is their goaltending. Big question mark when we look at, Grigor there. He's ugly. He's getting busted up. But Annunen, the backup, probably the strong point in this club out there. 50 of 53 saves on the season, 2.44 goals against average, and a 90% save percentage. Vejmelka starts on the other side for the Utah Hockey Club. He's got a 1.082 goals against average. How about that? Team's scoring a lot of goals, and he's not allowing a lot of goals, 93.5% save percentage. This one's got the makings for a battle. Utah, phenomenal start. Hard to believe. They're basically the same shitbag team that was those Arizona Coyotes. And yet, they're winning. Something to be said about the owners, flapping an arm around you, telling you you're a good boy. And that's what them Utah Hockey Club like to hear. But maybe some of that new allure has run off on this team here. 1-3 in their last 4 games. Now, they are coming off a shutout against Ottawa, but back-to-back unders, mostly because of that strong goaltending play that they found out there. But maybe who found the spark? Maybe the Colorado Avalanche found that spark. Tight games, so little juicy lines. And I think you're going to have to swallow a little juice if you want to get this payday with this Colorado Avalanche team, because they got a 3-2 win against Seattle on the road. They got a 4-1 win against the Sharks, but the Sharks are bad. We'll talk about them in a minute. They did beat Anaheim 4-3, but is Anaheim bad? Anaheim's got them sick jerseys. I like those jerseys a lot. Ultimately, though, when I was looking at this game, we're starting to see that price point. We're starting to see that price point where it gets a little uncomfortable. And I think that because, Georgiev isn't starting in goal here, this is why I wanted to play on Annunen. Not a big fan of Vejmelka. I do think he does have regression in his horizon. But the Avs just had this is like we're catching 2 teams passing each other at night. The Avs had such a bad start, and the Utah Hockey Club had such a great start, that at this price at minus 140 here, I do expect Colorado to kick the shit out of these boys. They got to make up some ground. And you see that fizzling effort with a goaltender that's early due for regression in Vejmelka. If they don't go out there and score goals, Utah's going to be in trouble. No doubt about it. You got to score goals to win games. But Annunen's not the guy you want to be facing on the other side. He is the only bright spot. You think about it, if you're a team on the other side in defense, and you got Georgiev out there, and he can't stop a beach ball, you don't get very excited to play those games. But here they go, into a new barn, ready to fire up, seeing that this team was running hot, but knowing that they're vulnerable here. I think Colorado's approaching this game going, we're going to get to 500. This is one I would consider the run line or the puck line. I do think they kicked the shit out of them. It's plus 163 at Bet Rivers. I think we see a goal fest. And I told you, I like Makar. I think he's a good opportunity. McKinnon's another great opportunity out there. I mean, you look at the lineup for this Colorado team, and they're all capable of figuring it out. Obviously, we talked last year with Mel and my brother about Middlestat moving on over to that Colorado team, but he ain't the game maker out there. The problem that we're seeing right now is Clayton Keller for this Utah team, just not being enough of a difference maker here as they get rolling. But Colorado should be, for all intents and purposes, healthy with what is their backup but stronger goaltender in goal. I'm going to take a shot with this Colorado team. I said we're going to have to swallow a little bit of the juice. Grandma says, hit the thumbs up for Pimp Slap Daddy. I need a nap to handle this energy. Yeah, I sit around all day just waiting for 6 o'clock for you guys, man. I bring you guys my A game out there. Twisted does like Utah, though. NJ Strikers on the Rangers. Irish Kings in the house. Likes Justin Jefferson to get the first touchdown. And likes the Avs -1.5. And Nathan Cerna is backing my next play. That is the Winnipeg Jets. Red hot. Here's the thing about the Jets, right? Their goaltender was big last year, and he's playing strong again this year. It's ridiculous what Connor Hellebuck's doing out there. He's 5-0. He's got a 1.75 goals against average, and he's 94.8%. Now, you might say, well, some of those numbers are similar to Vejmelka, Mike. Why do you like Connor, but you don't like Vejmelka? Because Connor's been there. He's done it. He's got that Vezina situation behind him. He's on his 6th start in 7 games. The team's playing incredible defense around this guy. And, at the end of the day, phenomenal. You can look at some of it. It's almost a 1.5 goals against average with that 94.8% save percentage. Now, the other side of things, I don't know what's going on with Seattle's defense, goaltending options. It shows Joey Decord again. He's unconfirmed. I don't know. He's got a 3.84 goals against average. You look at this line and you see that -120-ish. And you see a Vezina Trophy goalie in goal. You see Joey Decord in Seattle. He is 3-0. Team has found wins around him, but we still don't know officially if they're going to be the go-to or not. And I wasn't high on Seattle last year. I guess I got to let the recency bias kind of get away from it a little bit here because I just told you guys I didn't like the way that they drafted. I thought that they wasted the opportunity when they got their thing going. They didn't even bring on a coach with a ton of experience. And they started out strong. But now they're 4-3 on the season as well with a goaltender that I'm not a fan of Decord. His health factors are a big concern for me. That all aside here, we've got ourselves a pretty little price point with the Seattle Kraken in an 0-14 spot. 0-14 when they are, remember this one. This is like the Brewers. Remember we talked about the Brewers? When they're between a +115 and a -115, you fade their asses. Well, you do the same thing with the Seattle Kraken. When they're between +115 and -115, they're 0-14 when they're playing a team that made the playoffs the previous season. I know you guys love that one. You challenged me a little bit with Colorado, saying that they aren't playing like a Stanley Cup team, but they got that win for us. And that's the most important piece out there is teams that are good should win, do find a way to get the job done. And this Winnipeg Jets team very much checks all the boxes for me. You could argue the value and the price on Seattle, but really? The value at +110 with a 4-3 team that's got a barn burner in Winnipeg coming to town? This Winnipeg team's red hot. Their goaltending is firing on all cylinders. It's not only that they're red hot, it's that they just beat you down. That 8-3 win over San Jose followed it up with a 6-3 win over Pittsburgh. They put the keys in the bus. They take to the road. They beat up St. Louis 3-2 in St. Louis's barn. Big under in that spot. St. Louis might be one of those under teams, especially at home. I know we talked a little bit about that. So we're going to take a little Winnipeg Jets action. Let's see if I have any more. See if I have any more hockey out there. I got one more for you guys. Ugh. How many are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Well, I tipped my hand a little bit on this one earlier. Big favorite in these LA Kings. San Jose Sharks 0-5-2 on the season. Kings 3-2-2. Yikes. But we look at this thing, and I mentioned it. It's Rittich. It's Blackwood. Now, they're both confirmed goaltenders. So this is a go. Blackwood is 4.08 goals against average with an 89.6% save percentage. Red Light Rittich has that 3.38 goals against average and an 85.9% save percentage. I think it's a bounce back spot for Rittich. Now he's back home. Hear me out with this one. 6 goals on 30 shots. They lost 6-1 to the Vegas Golden Knights the other day. But what do we know about unders after you play in Vegas. I think it's 44-12 are those unders coming off of that thing. Who's going to score these goals for the Sharks? They're not losing games because they're scoring a shit ton of goals. They're struggling to find the back of the net. They can't bury the old biscuit. And we got a goaltender off that 6-1 spot looking to rebound and rally with that first home game. I love that after the Vegas situation out there. Big winning trend for us. And look at these Sharks. 1 goal against Anaheim, 1 goal against Colorado. Now, they did get 3 against Winnipeg. But I don't know if that was as much Winnipeg just kind of dismissing the Sharks as anything of relevance. They only scored 2 against the Blackhawks. They scored 2 against Dallas. This is a 2-goal team. And British should be motivated to fire, especially with our coming back from Vegas trend. That's going to bring us to close out there, guys. Write that one down. Team just played in Vegas. That next game goes under a shitload of times. KV says the Jets won 6 straight, 7-2 straight up in series. Go Jets. Like the Jets. Trisha M's giving a little business to MMA Boss Sports Money. That's why you're not a member. Let's go, man. We are listener supported. If you guys could take the time to become a member, that means a lot. We're trying to give you guys some members-only plays that maybe we're not live on the air, but we've got games that we want to get some action on and want to share them with our members. So check it out. We did release, by the way, speaking of members, a members-only UFC decision prop parlay. It's 3 legs. It's for the UFC on Saturday, and it pays, I think it's 9.8. No, it's like 10 to 1. It's like 10 to 1 is what that's going to pay for us. And our boy is right on cue as we get ready to dive into some college football here. We're going to have to pick this pace up just a smidge, but I'm ready to go here. I'll kick it off for you guys here. Syracuse popping with this Pittsburgh squad out there. I told you, this is probably, very much, I think, a contender for game of the week. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. I'm serious about it. Why? Because we got a ton of changes with both these teams. Now, coaching still remains the same for Pittsburgh. We got 62% of the bets and 73% of the cash on the Qs. It has moved 1.5 points to a 5. The total's on the creep. 59.5 has moved to 63. We have 50% of the bets and 81% of the cash on the over. I think it makes sense. I love seeing points in this game here. What we've got is suspect secondaries and teams that pass the ball. And they pass it a lot. If you look at this Syracuse team, we talked about, the transfer, the Ohio State coming out there, kicking ass. They're bringing up the coach from Georgia to play defense and focus on a defensive-oriented game. And they've shook some people. Everybody was fading them down in UNLV, not us. We thought it was a great spot. They did take a loss to Stanford, but they rebounded. They played Holy Cross. They beat the shit out of them, 42-14. Didn't cover. But then they go down on the road to UNLV, 5.5-point dogs. They win outright. They roll on over to NC State. Everybody was selling. They just had that big win. There's no way. Now they play this Pittsburgh team that barely won that game against Cal. And I wonder if the gas is starting to come out of the Jets there a little bit with this Pittsburgh team. 17-15 against Cal. Is it their defense? That I'm not entirely sure of. But I mentioned the past defenses are the challenge. These teams averaging 75 points a game between the two of them. And look at the total. Pegged at 63. Crazy. Now, this is a big rivalry between these two teams, whether it be basketball or it be football. These two teams get fired up to play each other, and they always play to what seems like a grueling battle between the two. But Pittsburgh is that offensive juggernaut. Their quarterback transfers in from Alabama. How about that? Eli Holstein, saving the day for Pittsburgh, ranks 13th in the country with 283.3 passing yards, and he's going to go out there against I don't want to shit all over Syracuse, but their defense is not good. It's just not good. But he sputtered, shut out against that Cal team, and now Pittsburgh's sitting there on their heels, coming in. By the way, off a bye. had a little rest, but both teams are off the bye, so it's really a negligible fact for me. And then I mentioned the transformation with these two teams. Western Carolina running back Desmond Reed comes in. This guy's almost got 1,000 yards from scrimmage and 8 touchdowns on the season as well. So you do have a dual threat or a 1-2 punch that we could see coming out of this Pittsburgh Panthers side of things here, but I'm not willing to entirely dismiss this Syracuse team. The problem I have, when you play a team, or when your last game, you led the turnover margin. You didn't cover the spread by 4 points or more. And you won and it stayed under. On short rest, those teams are 103 and 44. Led turnovers, didn't cover, won the game, stayed under, short rest. Now, that's a lot of variables in there. I get that. But sometimes you got these teams and it's tough to find something that's so illuminated that you find a number of 103 and 44 for Pittsburgh. Yeah. I want to take Syracuse. I do. I see 5s. I had to just go with points. I had 28.5. This was 27.5 this morning. It's 28.5 now. It's on its way to 29.5 out there as well. So the betting public believes they're going to see points in this one. Not mad at anybody that wants to get this first half over. Problem I have with that, yeah, you're cutting the number in half. But what happens with these two teams coming off that bye week? A little bit of rest, or a little bit of rust. A little bit of rust in that spot. Does concern me a little bit. Shout out to Grandma Horse Racing. She gifted a membership out there. Gifted, helping us grow this community. Appreciate you, Grandma. Let's go. Shout out to Gerardo. I hate that I have to tears you guys with water for the moment here, but we're going to get there. Nasty Nate says, I think he's talking about, all right, listen, we don't fuck around here. We don't fuck around here. And certainly nobody wants to fuck around and find out here. So let's go. I'm on the team total over. I think we see points. I think Syracuse is capable of. The only way I see Syracuse winning this game is outright, not in a point to cover spot. Oh, we just lost our guy. We lost our guy. He wasn't on. Maybe he's leaving and coming back. Real Jolly Roger says a 5-point underdogs team total is over 4 touchdowns. It's running. It's running. I just don't know. I mean, I fully was expecting to come in here and tell you guys to jump in on the Syracuse team, but I'll probably have some action on them as well, but it won't be one of my strongest plays of the day. I just think we see points. Nathan Cerna says 51-20. It's a hell of a call. 51. There's no fucking way that this Syracuse-oriented defense with their coaching staff and squad is coming in there letting Pitt score 51 and they're only getting 21. I got a guy backstage. I see him there. I had to turn the chime on so I know when these guys pop in. I don't think he's ready just yet, though. He's looking dapper as always, but he's ready. Thumbs up when he's ready, and we'll bring him in. Appreciate all you guys rocking with us in this transition. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button for us. Give us that acknowledgement that you like what we have to say here. And we got to get rolling. We got to pick this pace up. So let's do it. Our guy's ready to go. I see the moving. I said thumbs up. Give me the thumbs up. I'll get you in there. Let's go. I got to make a quick adjustment here. Let's get this going. Let's bring our guy on screen. Let's do this.
I'm not hooked. I'm not in. Hold on.
Yep.
Bounce.
He's not hooked. He's not in. It's okay. It's okay. Keep this line right down the center. And we'll get him back here in just a moment, you guys. Get yourselves ready, set. We're going to go because we got that Syracuse team total over. And I don't have a play on this opportunity. So let's see if our guy has any action for us. How we doing?
Nope. Yo, you hear me?
Yep, I hear you good. Loud and clear, my friend.
What up?
Trying to make that money. C-Mac, how you doing, man?
Shout out Nasty Nate, my guy. Many penny bombs, my dude. Hell yeah. Nathan Cerna. Grandma with the dono. Oh yeah, Grandma Horse Racing. Trisha. What up? What's going on, Mike? Mike
Trying
Jones.
trying to get paid, brother, man. Nasty Nate says only 57 likes, C-Mac. Don't give a play until 70 at least. How about that?
I like it.
I'll tell you what, I think if we don't get 70 likes, we're going to start trimming down the number of plays that we give out there. I mean, there's a bunch of you guys sitting out there rocking with us. I know we get triple-digit views on a concurrent basis. We should have 100 plus likes in this son of a bitch as we get rolling, you guys. Please help us out and smash that thumbs up button here. We bring C-Mac in on Thursdays. He's a busy man, but he's got plays for you guys. Of course, the star of Hitting the Books. How's it been going, C-Mac?
Good. If you like college football, go on YouTube, Hitting the Books. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. That's it. That's all you got to do. And check out the videos. Well, college basketball too, a little bit. Not, it's coming up here soon. Like once or twice a week. It could get busier later on, maybe like January type stuff. But that's it.
Well, let's rapid fire some spots here. So I'm on the Syracuse team total over. It's 28.5 now. It's up to 29.5 on some of those books as well. Do you think we see a score fest, or do you think we see a ACC grind them out, drain the clock, and it's a low scoring affair?
You know what? I think there's points, but I don't know if this gets over. It might. Yeah, I remember just taking you back because I go back to some of these series. I think last year it ended right on 59, I think, because I was on it. I was on this over, I believe. Or was it the year before? I don't know. And this has been, I wanted to go, when I looked at this too, because I think Syracuse can have success. I don't think Pitt's defense is bad as kind of I thought it was too early on in the year. Now, maybe it's the teams that they played, North Carolina, the last few before the break, and in Cal. And McCord said nothing but success, and he should again. But I just thought, my lean was to the over. I couldn't get there in the end. And one thing with Syracuse, they just haven't played well here at Pitt. It's been a tough spot for them. You should know that, Mikey, following this team for years. That was the lone thing. But I think this offense can keep it together. I've raved about and been on their wide receivers and Pena, Gatz in the tight. They're good. I mean, he's got some real weapons. But I still don't think the Syracuse secondary is all there. I think Pitt will have success. So I get it. I get the points. In the end, I just had to keep it as a lean in this game.
How about that ODU spot there? Georgia Southern ODU. Can I interest you in a little spot ball with these two programs?
Shout out to the chat. We hit the 70 likes. So let's give it out because I got action in this game. Let's go.
Baby. Let's go.
In this one. I still think it's as long as you have 52.5, I think, in this game. I took the under with a way better number a little bit earlier. This line just keeps dropping. I don't think we're going to get many points in this one, Mike. One thing, I've questioned Old Dominion's defense, and the numbers haven't been great, and they were dealing with some stuff early on. But the Bowling Green game went over. Virginia Tech, they had a rough one. And, of course, they've had to change a quarterback. That makes this team slower and need to play a little bit different too. And back again, they were a double-digit dog. They went outright. Beat Texas State. Make McLeod, who's been just throwing it all over the lot, 300-something yards a game. He doesn't get anything in 2 picks. I think they played up here again. But I have to say, and they've turned into the dog. I don't want them. This team, even as a 1 or 2 point favorite, it just hasn't worked out. They just haven't been able, and they haven't been able to string wins together. They were big dog, 10 or more. Man, they've cashed me the last few years. I know I didn't cash the Virginia Tech one. Yeah, they were getting a ton. There was the quarterback problems there, but it's just been consistent. I went back to the well on Saturday against Texas State. They cashed, but I love what this Georgia Southern team has really been doing, and I think it's really been their defense. And I don't think that really scares them with Joseph back there at quarterback. So that's been improving. The big win for them at JMU, the crazy comeback. I don't know. I think we talked about it too, Mikey, because that game was it middle of the week on a Thursday? The Marshall game? Do you remember? You're on mute.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was looking at our likes. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago was on. I forgot. It had to be a Thursday. We were just talking.
Okay. But yeah, so they get blown out. to Old Miss, no big deal. The Nevada game, 20-17. I think this game's played in the 20s. It's like I think the highest scoring game this could be is 30-27. Yeah, and that would go. That's that to the extreme. And I just don't see these teams, going crazy, especially Old Dominion at home. They're going to be super slow. I know they played a little bit, maybe quicker, but not with the new quarterback that's been back there. They're going to want to run it. And I think their defense kind of does enough. And it's the typical type game, 24-17, shit like that I see in this, one. 28-14. And I kind of like Georgia Southern. I love the way they've been playing, and it's showing. And they've been cashing if you've been backing them. Yeah. Depending on where you got, they have a push in there, depending on who got it. But they've been 5-1. I took them a few times, and of course Old Dominion. And I took them 4 times, and 3-1 with the Tech. So I didn't want to mess with it. I do think the hot team is Georgia Southern, and I think they could pull this game out. Maybe it's just been a shit spot. It's kind of weird because now they're dogs. Like when I was just talking about this on Monday, they were favored by 2. Not crazy, but I just had to roll with the under, especially when it was early at the week at 54.5, 54. But as long as you have 50 over 52, I think you're good here. So even if you get 52.5, take the under.
I kind of like that. You're talking the under now, and I'm thinking as this game ticks on, as I hear that, why not that first half under?
Yeah, you can go there.
The reason I say that is because we talk about these teams that run the ball effectively or stop the run as well. The line just continues, it gets wide and it continues to grow as they start to beat them up and batter them down. And you've got this ODU team that ranks number 25 in rushing success rate there on defense. Those are some big boys, man. And they want to run that ball. They want to exploit it. And the other side of things, Georgia Southern wants to run the ball. So I think collectively, you get yourself a little 26.5 opportunity for that first half. You know what? I'm going to add that right now. I'm going to add that here.
I don't mind it. I like 27.5, of course, with numbers, but I still think it's okay.
Let me see what I can find.
With 26.5. Yeah, they just want to run it. With Joseph, yeah, exactly. Real Jolly Roger, he wants to run it. And the defense have been better a little bit, and I think this is a good matchup. The last couple of years, I remember they played last year's tight. It was a similar game. I had it right here because I went through all the box and everything with it. Of course, a few different players, but a ton of guys different. And just going through the time possession, everything that went. Turnovers can be key when you play these teams, that we talk about middle of the week. 2017. I just see it similar. That total 62.5. A lot of they were thinking of the Georgia Southern real fast, bad defense. I think it's been better, the last month of the year.
Sorry, I had to change over to my my phone because the fine folks of DraftKings are scared of me adding this first half under. Probably catching the shittiest number I could right now, but that's the byproduct of being live as we're getting ready to pop off, and that's where I'm going to go with this thing. So I think that first half under. I got the points and cues. Let's go some NBA. C-Mac, you got a little NBA action here? I know we're in day 3 of this NBA season. Yeah. I'll rapid fire.
Rip it. I don't have NBA today. I liked a few things, but I just haven't pulled the trigger. Go ahead. Rip it.
So I'm looking at the Spurs and Mavericks game to pop this thing off for you guys here. 7:30 start, so we skipped that little Boston opportunity. Boston, they probably should kick the shit out of them. But, there's something to be said. The home dogs have been winning game ones. And the team that has the game in hand, so the team that's got the extra game on the schedule, has not fared well in the NBA. But it's Washington. I would see the only thing that for that game for me is, does Boston get just tired of beating the shit out of Washington and somehow the backdoor cover becomes a factor? But I'm looking at the Spurs and the Mavericks. That's a spot for me with this line that opened at 8.5. It has moved slightly, so there's some 9s out there. We have 69% of the bets and 68% of the cash on the Mavericks. So you got that half a point movement. Then you got a total that's dropping. It's dropped 5 full points, 6 points on some books. Yet you had 81% of the bets on the over, only 54%. So that's where we talk about that little kind of matrix there of the bets being the public, the cash being maybe the bigger bettors. And some bigger bettors came in on this under. And it was enough to scare the books to move it on down. Look, I told you guys there's a trend in place tonight that will be again available tomorrow. It was in place last night, and it got a big W. Conference Road Dogs, first game of the season, are 49-27. When they play a team, they cover the spread against the last time out. That is the Spurs. That is the Spurs out here at a +9 is the number that I jumped in on there. I was looking at the under. I did think a little bit about this under action, but I'm going to take the 9 points. I think it's too many points for this game here. I think this is a 4-point type of game. I mean, for Mavericks to win, they got to blow them out. And it's that first game of the season, right? There's that little jittery situation going on out there for both these teams. But it should be a battle, and I'm going to take the points in my back pocket, knowing we have that play in place tonight. We cashed it last night. The spot last night was fading. I believe it was Atlanta, right? Let me just double check and see who Atlanta played last night. Right? Yeah, it was the Nets.
Rockets. They didn't get it done. Real quick, this was the play that I didn't play with the 9. That's the closest thing I got to today. And they've just been, kind of these a little bit closer. You talked about going back to last year. And I think with the few 9s, there's some value. And it's just with them, how they play, it's like blown out, it's a 30-point loss, or this will be within 10. So that's why when I was going down and going through everything, I just find the NBA the first week, the Celtics were easy first half. I lost Minnesota. I just saw there's a ton of value with the Lakers the other day. Yeah, and the Lakers hadn't even won the first game with LeBron, a bunch of stuff. Because I think maybe during the year, they're the better team with the better defense, that was probably 3.5. But places jacked up, LeBron, the whole thing, and they played better basketball. They won the game. So I just trying to watch it here. And then I'll be on a lot more props, too, as we get rolling, because I've just had so much success with it in the NBA. But I like it. I like to play.
Some creative names in the chat. Love to see it, you guys. Make sure you do hit that thumbs up button if you're in here rolling with us. We're going to rapid fire these next 2 games. We'll talk the NFL, and then we'll get everybody up out of here. OKC Thunder and the Denver Nuggets. We got some trends in play to talk about with this one as well. And look, the Nuggets, for being home and catching all the cash, haven't done shit to the line. In fact, we've got reverse line movement. Nuggets open at -2.5. They're down to 1.5. We see 61% of the bets, and we see 60% of the cash sitting there on the Nuggets. Yet, them chicken nuggets are starting to run a little dry. OKC Thunder, what a suspect line if you look at this thing. And the total's hammered right now. It's gone up 5 full points. 85% of the bets on the over, 93% of the cash. It opened at 224.5. It's now sitting at 229.5. Potentially a lot of star power in this game here. We talked about Joker. We got his rebound prop in our parlay earlier. SGA, Chad Holmgren, man, Gordon, Porter, there's a lot of boys on the squad here. This could be a very fun game to get involved with here. And I did get involved with it. Look, not quite intersect. Well, it is intersecting zeros. I got to get a button. I got to get an alarm for the intersecting zeros. Denver. Well, you might say, hey, they're in a revenge spot. They lost last year at home to this OKC Thunder team. Well, when the line's a coin flip, when it's between the threes, -3 and +3, and Denver's in a revenge spot at home, they are 0-7 against the spread, and they are 0-7 straight up. Also, the Thunder, 7-0 against the spread in their last 7 games at Denver. They've been a dog in every one of them. They're 4-3 total in those spots, but that between the threes was good enough for me here. I'm looking at this 2.5. This number seems suspect as fuck to me here. What is going on that we can catch a 2.5 with an OKC Thunder team? And now we're getting that movement down to 2s and 1.5s. I looked at the injury report. I didn't see anything that really scared me off of it. I mean, OKC is the one battling, if anybody. Williams, Hartenstein. Isaiah Hartenstein's probably the biggest one, I think, on that list. But, Jalen Williams is another factor. Yep. But Nuggets look pretty clean, and yet we're sitting at 2s. 2s, C-Mac, can you make sense of that?
No, that's why I'm not going to play it. I'd be on the Thunder in this game. I think things are starting to change a little bit. Like, this is starting, like last year we talked about it. This is the real step up here. I think, for the Thunder. Now it's the first game. I get it. No altitude. It's in Denver in the second half. Maybe look at them first half if you like it. But that hasn't bothered them lately. They went in there last year and won. Like, they beat them 4-5. This isn't the old where the Nuggets, you slap them around. So, yeah, I get it. I think a lot of people see this number and just are like, let's take the Nuggets here, which have been solid, of course, home court through the last few years. So, tough one. Tough first game. But I could see OKC going in there and win.
Outright is most likely what the scenario I see. But if it's a bucket at the end because of a foul, I'll take that too. 10 p.m. game, the Timberwolves and the Kings. I don't have any official action that I moved on this one yet. I was debating the T-Wolves in this thing here. They open up as 1-point dog. They're a 1-point favorite, so there has been some modest movement there. 81% of the bets and 83% of the cash are on the T-Wolves. Sacramento Kings spot in this case here. I'll tell you this. The total's dropping, and we've got reverse line movement. Now, I don't know if the total, I was originally going to jump in on this thing, but it's dropped 5 full points, 6 points now to 221.5. You got 86% of the bets and 82% of the cash on the over. And when they get a low total with these Kings, well, as long as it's over 221, but a lower number in effect under 240, they're 12-0 to the under, them Sacramento Kings. So when the bookmakers peg them low, they stay low. The thing is, it's an intersecting zero spot taking Minnesota. And now we've seen that number moving in Minnesota's direction here. Probably Minnesota money line is the play. But I still go back to that teams that have the game in hand. I don't like that spot there, knowing that for some reason the game, especially opening up the season here for Sacramento, could be a problem. But Minnesota, now they're not a conference dog anymore because they've moved to a favorite, but they were 14-0 in the conference dog roll after a game that they shot less than 76% from the free throw line. So ineffective shooting from the free throw line as a dog. They go back out there and they fix that the next game. That kind of makes me think the books kind of take a few points. You're deflating what that Minnesota team should be because they didn't shoot very well from the charity stripe. The Kings, on the other hand, are 0-9 when they're home versus a conference opponent off a loss, and the total's greater than a 221. Home, conference opponent off a loss, to me, speaks to the same situation. You've got a conference opponent off a loss means you're deflating that line from a Vegas perspective. You're taking 1 or 2 points off that number where it could potentially be the other way. 0-9 against the spread in those spots out there. It's also 12-0 to the under in that spot as well. So seems like Minnesota. It seems like an under spot for me. I don't have anything official on it, but we'll get to it, I'm sure, when we get into the live stream tonight. That game will pop off at 10 p.m. So, C-Mac, all we can do at this point is bring her home with the Thursday night football game. We got the Vikings and the Rams. 76% of the bets on the Vikings. 68% of the cash on the Vikings. Totals creeping. 70% of the bets, 71% of the cash on the over. It's moved 2 points from 45.5 to 47.5. And we've got this line now starting to see threes. You know, there was a scant 3 out there when I started getting ready for the show. Now I see threes starting to drive the marketplace across the board, C-Mac. When you look at these two teams, what we got kicking here, right? We see this Minnesota Vikings squad battled but couldn't figure it out against the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions, maybe they're just that good. Flip side, the Rams struggled to find a win against Las Vegas. They didn't cover the spread. They have not covered the spread in 4 of their last 5 games as well. Now they're pegged here as a dog at home against this Minnesota team that's angry and looking to bounce back off that loss. Do you believe in any of that bounce back shit in this game, C-Mac?
All the love here. People love to see it, and they see it all that are around. The Road Dogs went undefeated. They've been on a crazy rate in the NFL. I think if you got I think the Rams are a little bit live here. I know Cooper Kupp's back. Naku is back. Their defense is still a problem. And like last week, the turnovers were huge for the Raiders. Like, they don't turn the ball over. That game's a lot closer I think, even when they played Williams. So it's made their defense and their defensive numbers look better than it is. I think especially their secondary. I think Addison, I think Justin Jefferson could go off too. Usually I'm not all over the number one guy, and it's moved up. Like, I think I got 87.5. Yeah, I bet like 4 hours ago. I've even seen 90 right around there now. And he's been right there lately, like 81, 85, 92. I think he has a big game against this Rams defense that isn't very good. So I'd look for him tonight. But the Rams play kind of if you look forward, like if they get this game, we know the home stadium too is not like the best place to go home stadium for them. But they have kind of an easy schedule. I was looking to back them. So like even if they don't win here tonight, I think their schedule is pretty good going forward. And I'm going to look to back them. Even though, like I said, Raiders got the backdoor cover in that game where the Rams were covering the whole way. But I think if you got a 3 with the Rams, you're feeling all right in this one. Or we'll continue. The road dog cruises and keeps getting it done after that tough loss for the Vikings this week. Great game. Wild game, too, but tough. But I did take, like I talked about, the Jefferson 87.5 prop. And I think the Rams could maybe hang around. As much as I don't love the defense, I think they're in this football game. Talk about Jay Peasy. 2 undefeated teams, 1-2, modern day. There's Bosco. I think they've been playing since like 65 or 64, 66. So wild rivalry, my dude. I'm not that deep into it, but CIF football is always in my mind. Yeah. My dad brags about his CIF, all state honors all the time. So
I'll tell you this, that the real effect is teams that the game after play the Detroit Lions. The Lions take the shit out of them, and they lose. They haven't won yet all season. That trend's a factor. There's other teams that was in. If you guys remember just a couple years ago, it was if you played the 49ers, the next game you lost. So some of that shit becomes real. And the Detroit Lions, especially in a battle where Minnesota got, and I'm taking that loss in that game, very tricky situation. I'm not sure what I understand what's going on here. Why am I hearing rumors that, quarterbacks on the market, that you see, Cooper Kupp's on the market. They're looking to potentially move some defensive guys. Matt Stafford, you're going to trade Matt Stafford? The fuck's Matt Stafford going to go? I don't understand it. But I know this, though, coaching-wise, Sean McVay is one of the best to do it with short rest. He's 8-0 against the spread. He's 8-0 straight up when he does have less than normal rest, and he's not a 5-point or bigger favorite. And the Vikings, with less than 10 days rest, 0-14 when the total's at least a 47. So they do not find a way with a quick turnaround to cover the spread game out there. Minnesota also against the NFC West is 0-9 on the road. That's one of the most important ones to me because I say this all the time. You're built to play within your division, but when you start going outside of your division and you struggle because you don't have the pieces in place to stop those key core elements out there, the NFC West is very much that team. San Francisco, Seattle, you got the Rams out there as well.
And it's a short week. It's a standalone game on a short week, Thursday night. And this could be after they start 5-0, they finally got ATS, and then they lose the game. And if you've been back in the Rams, they've been the shits. I know that was shit, the Raiders backdoor, but, they haven't been a team that's covered really anything. So it just looks like everyone, that's why all the money, all the ticket, everything, just Vikings here, right? Just Vikings, and don't look at the game. We'll see. Maybe they blow them out with their offense. Their defense has been better. It got exposed last week a little bit with the Lions, and they had a 10-0 lead, in that game. But the Lions have the best line in football, or top 3. And it's crazy how they're able to run the ball in that one. But I think they should have took advantage more of the Lions secondary and didn't. So, yeah. So you're on the Rams? You're on the Rams?
I'm on the Rams. Yeah, I took the +3 here. Think about this. So I talked about the 0-9 when they're on the road against the NFC West. They're 0-9, right? When they've got a total over 46.5, they're 0-10 against the spread. They've lost 9 of those games outright. So think about what that trend means. It's expected to be a score out. and they're not winning those games. They've lost 9 of them outright. And who's going to be your guy that you have to depend on to throw the ball in a score out? Sam Darnold. Come on. This is a Ram spot all day. This thing outright. I'm not mad about that Justin Jefferson look. He'll probably find a way to get there for me in some type of a same game parlay. But that's how I'm going to wrap her up for my action tonight, C-Mac. I'm going to take a little Rams action. I see this Rangers are down 2-0. I don't like to see that, but maybe I should have gone with the -1. But
Already?
2-0. It's the only scoring on the board already out there. The revenge narrative is dog shit for that Florida Panthers team. They were looking ahead. St. Louis Blues are on the board as well, C-Mac, but that time of the show.
I have a piece of I have the Red Wings.
Do you?
And that like it moving up. I thought it was great. This is just New Jersey's success. It's shown early on, like in the year, and maybe this was the time to grab them. And I just had to take the Red Wings. When it got to 155, I had to take it. I think, and let's talk about, since you already hit it, NHL. How do you not think there's goals in Avs Utah? I mean,
I totally expect there to be goals in that game.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, yeah, I think we get plenty of goals in that game.
We see Utah's been scoring on average like 5 a game, and now
they're off a game where they've only scored 1, right?
Right.
I mean, like after kind of barrage, and after this, I believe they hit the road. I don't know. I think we can get some goals here tonight between those two.
I'll tell you what, I took the under. I got the under. After teams play in your town, they're on like a 44-12 run to the under in those following games out there. If you just played in Vegas, coming back home, it's a dead nuts under. Kings San Jose Sharks tonight, dead nuts under. Take it, run with it. Let's get after it.
Hey, Kings unders. I love them. I like it. You don't need to twist my arm.
It's that time we got to go, my friend. I got to get ready for this
Let's get out of here.
Football game tonight. Hopefully, we'll see you in just a little bit on screen with Razor Sharp and I and the crew trying to make some money live as we bet this game, my friend. So the link will be coming your way. But tell everybody what you got cooking. We know hitting the books is running hot. Talk to them.
Yeah, I already hit it. Go to Hitting the Books. Give us a like. Subscribe. We're just hitting up college football on Mondays. Put out the individual games, and pretty soon we'll get into college basketball a little bit on that channel. That's about it. Just a college sports 2-1 now. Wow, flying around in that game. Rangers get a goal, but other than that, catch Connor Mac Picks. Hit me up on Twitter /X as they call it now. Hit me up. I'm always down to talk to people. Give me a follow, all that shit. I love you guys. Shout out to the chat. Let's make some cash tonight. Let's get it.
Let's get that money, guys. We got about 20 minutes. We're gonna roll back on through and get this thing moving as we do with the Thursday night football. You guys appreciate everybody rocking. We got a special little outro, a special little holiday outro, C-Mac. Thank you guys all for rocking with us here. Real Jolly Roger, Jay Peasy, Robert McCormick, Joseph Alvarado, Big Scott 510, Jay Main. Appreciate you guys hanging out, man. Let's get this cash tonight, and let's get back here. NJ Stryker, Swerve the Snow Cone, man. Appreciate all you guys. James Hart, Spenny Penny Bombs. We'll see you guys coin in just 20 minutes here on the live stream. Special outro coming at you guys, courtesy of this holiday season. Thank you guys all for rocking with us. Hit that thumbs up if you have.